folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is Miss Truesdale and the Fall of Hyperborea, issue 4 by Dark Horse Comics. Now, there is fighting, killing, blood, a giant snake slash god demon creature in this one, so if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here's our team. Well, that is it. I have finally reached the end of this mini-series. As I've said in the last video that contained issues 2 and 3, I will complete this in the end. And I've finally gotten it this week. And here we are. Alright, so we pick up where we left off, the giant dragon snake creature thing. I think it's probably more a dragon. Is attacking Miss Truesdale, or Amunyasa now, or they'll just call her Miss Truesdale. She's now somehow from the future, went back to her former self. Let's call it that. Her former self. And she's, at first a bit lost because she's used to being just this regular woman. And suddenly she's a warrior. But then instinct takes over and she starts beating the dragon creature with a stick. Of course, doesn't do much, but she's fighting. And then we have some memories of her from the past. And before that, she's fighting with the stick, but it's not doing much. The dragon kicks her with its head. She flies, and she said, "If only I had my her axe." But then one of the wood fairy creatures, you see him in a panel before that. He's where the water is. He goes back to the boat and gets her axe, and he yells, "Miss Truesdale," and she takes it. And now it's much more even fight for her. So she starts hitting the dragon with the axe and has memories of her future life as Miss Truesdale. How she worked in either the Society of the Brotherhood of Raw or in some office. I think is this maybe the Society. How they wouldn't say her surname correctly. They called her Miss Tuesday, and how they would tell her, "Oh, go fetch us some tea, please, and some biscuits," and how one of the men called her Mousely. And as you know, she's now fighting the dragon. She's like, "Mousely." Oh yeah, now she isn't. So yeah, the fighting continues. And then as she fights, suddenly you see, half of panels, we see different warriors. And I think we get a monologue from the demon, the lady demon. How she says, "I've always been here. I was the wind. I was that, the fall of men. The fall of Hellboy." So it looks like Miss Truesdale doesn't want Hellboy to fall because she yells no again as she's fighting the dragon. And we keep getting more monologue from the demon lady. How they've always fought and everything. Now she'll always be there. And then I think monologue from the old man. It was in the last issue. The one from Hyperborea. He's the spirit now. Confusing for me. Yes. So he says how it's always been the same thing, always the same fight, just different weapons, different faces, but the same purpose. Yeah, we see all sorts of other warriors. One guy reminded me of Thor. Another one had a lion's head on him. That he killed a lion, skinned him. So they are. Yeah, it's just fighting until Miss Truesdale kills the dragon thing. And the monologue of the demon lady ends, and she says, "I will always be there. I'll be the mountains and everything." And And then Miss Truesdale says, "Not today." And that's it. The fight is over. Um, Miss Truesdale, obviously, she's in some pain after what happened. Oh, we also see a brief panel of Hellboy, which made me happy. Yeah, that the old man approaches Miss Truesdale and he tells her, "Don't worry, soon the pain will end." And she says, "Yes, I know, but the pain means that I am alive." She gets up with the old man's help, and he says, "Well, that's it. There'll be no more pain. Now we can leave to the White Island," which I wonder if that's kind of a reference to, you know, Lord of the Rings. You know that place where they all go on boats to when they are. I'm not sure if that meant they were dying or just moving on from their realm or something. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of made me think about that. But she says, "Although your island sounds lovely, I still want to. For as long as I have, I want to live. I'm finally alive. I haven't been alive up till now." Which again, she went from the future back to the past into this body of Yamun Asa. Or Amun Yasa. And it's just, how does that work? It's not like it's not like Amun Yasa went into Miss Truesdale's body. That would, I don't know, I feel like that somehow would have made more sense. And here is just, what the fuck? And it's like, yeah. And anyway. But yeah, that's it. She says, "Well, that's it. Now I'm gonna live for as long as I have." And you see her leaving. Then we go to the future. It is 19 third no 1940 something. Let me just check. Just a moment. I want to be sure. It's 19 in 1953. Okay, 1953. We see Hellboy in the cemetery where Miss Truesdale has been buried. He's there with the professor, and Hellboy tells the professor, "Professor, come here, look at this." He somehow instinctively approached Miss Truesdale's grave, or her tombstone, and then he reads her name, Margaret Truesdale. And now we know her name. And it says HBR. So that means the Holific Brotherhood of Ra. That signifies that she was in the Brotherhood. So a professor says, "Yeah, that is weird because the Brotherhood was mainly dominated by men." So it was. So yeah, I think that confirms then, and her memories are from when she was with the Brotherhood. I don't know. She apparently showed her work to get accepted in. I don't know that much about the Brotherhood and how their initiations or acceptances work. Anyway, he says, "Yes, that is odd." And then how did you find this one of all the graves? How did you approach this one? And then below that, the date of her birth, and then when she died, it says the name of the queen priest lady that was in the first two issues, or the queen of the Holifics. So apparently, she was a French peasant girl that they said was the reincarnation of someone from the Brotherhood. So they gave her this the professor calls a useless title, and basically kept her with them. And then, so she's been with the Brotherhood until basically the year where Miss Truesdale has died. And I think, yeah, Miss Truesdale died in 1883, and that's the year where she retired. And after that, sorry if you can hear her phone. After that, she went apparently to live in Canada and died in 1938. She died in 1938, and you see her being, like kind of like a Viking, not the Vikings. Who would, Yeah, they would put in. They would make like an altar out of wood, a lot of wood sticks, and they would put the person and then burn their body. So that is what they've done with her body, and then well, that's it. That's her end basically. And in those two last pages of the panels, we get her. We get again the conversation Miss Truesdale and the Queen had before she died, and how I was Miss Truesdale saying, "Oh, was I the peasant girl?" And the Queen says, "No, I was the peasant girl, and the honor was mine to save your life." Because the peasant girl saved Miss Truesdale's past life self from being poisoned. So that's it. And then the last page is like you see where where the bear the queen's body burning. Then lower you see Amun Ra, their god. Then you see Miss Truesdale, and then you see the warrior lady Amun Yasa or Miss Truesdale, and that is it. That's where the issue ends. All right, let's start with the cover. I quite like this cover. I like how she looks all fierce and angry and bloodied. That's very cool. Again, look at the detail on this face. Why couldn't Lon Lon Longaren? Why couldn't Mr. Longaren draw like that inside? Why did we have to get the art that's inside? I know I've been bitching about it throughout all of the issues, but I just can't get over that. Also, you know Dark Horse didn't think this was a success. They gave it the shitty paper quality. Seriously, this paper is shit. It's so, just touching it lightly, it already leaves fingerprints. It's like they're like, fuck it, this isn't gonna sell that much, we'll just give it the cheap paper. Ugh. And the art is the fucking same. Let me show you. There you go, there's the... And that's it. Oh, you can finally see the dragon in the thing and look at him. It's not bad. I mean, this face is pretty good, but look at this. Just look at it. I'm sorry to say, but if I was the editor, I would say find me a new artist. Or I don't know. I tell him improve this, please. Hey, look at these faces. For fuck's sakes, look at it. But yeah, there's the old man. Oh, that's the art. All right. Now, as for the story, I definitely need to reread this because I think I might have missed some things, like all of this happening at the same time. Because I thought it was where the Hyperborea is destroyed. I thought it was showing the past, but it was happening simultaneously. So, yeah, but still, the ending was, I will say, a bit confusing. I mean, the fight scene with the dragon was pretty cool, actually, despite the shitty art. But the fight itself was cool. I don't exactly understand what the demon lady was exactly after. Why Miss Truesdale kept fighting her through every reincarnation, I suppose. I mean, I guess all those people were Miss Truesdale, essentially, in past lives. Every warrior that fought. So there's that, and then what happened to Miss Truesdale. And I'm also confused what any of this really had with Hellboy. I mean, I wish this would give us a more of an insight into the Brotherhood of Raw, because they seem pretty interesting. And also, I thought they were against the BPRD, and the BPRD don't seem to be really fond of them or not care for them too much, based on the professor's expression and the way he talked about. No, the queen, of how they just gave her a useless title. So just because I'm thinking of Sir Edward Grey and how much he hunted for them, and how they tried to summon a demon. So I mean, Miss Truesdale was in the Brotherhood, but why was she? Was she for this stuff or against it? Were they different in the 1800s? Did they not try to summon demons then? It's just all so confusing. Like, what the fuck is going on? You know? But yeah, this was not the best. Um, I don't know. Again, maybe I missed some things. Maybe upon rereading this, I will understand it better. Like I said in the last video, this has been the first Mike Manola story to disappoint me. Yeah, yeah, I didn't really love this one. Which again is sad for me because I love most of the Manola stories I've read. And I also love the BPRD and the whole universe. It's not that I'm not liking this because it didn't have Hellboy in it. I love also reading about the BPRD. They are also very interesting. And again, even something about the Brotherhood of Raw would have been interesting, but this is just. And again, they should have just made this into a one shot, a really long one shot instead of spreading it to 4 issues. They would have saved on paper and saved on the useless panels that were in the first issue where they're just fucking black. You know? Yeah. Anyway, I've completed it. I will from now on try to look up the art in Mike Mandola's stories just in case, because again, this was just the art was. And look, I'll repeat again. Look at it here. Why couldn't he do the same thing inside? You know, if he didn't have time, he should have just said so or something. I don't know. I suppose what he did inside would have been a lot easier to draw, but you know, this is the kind of art I would expect from a webcomic. Which then, yeah, fine, you're not getting paid for this, but you're getting paid for this. You're getting money to draw this. Alright, I'll cut my bitching here. Alright, folks, so that is it. Let me know, have you read Miss Truesdale? What did you think of the story? Did you like it? Do you know what I missed that I maybe didn't understand? If you didn't like it, tell me why. And that is it. Now remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!